Hey, what's up, YouTube boxing family? It's K right here. And yeah, let's talk about this matchup, man. This is the long-awaited video that I've been pretty excited to talk about. Let's talk about this really good fight, if it ever happens one day, between Nestor Bravo versus Kurt Scoby. Nestor Bravo, 30 years old, based out of Arecibo, Puerto Rico, aka Borican. Oh, yes. Borican Arat. Let's go. Yeah, Nestor Bravo, super lightweight division, junior welterweight 140, aka the boot camp division of boxing. Yeah, 22-0, 15 of those wins by way of KO, 5'9", 70-inch arm reach, and I believe Kurt Scoby, if I'm not mistaken, is 13-0, 11 KOs by way of knockout of his wins, and he's 5'9", based out of New York City, but originally from Duarte, California. I think this is a very good fight one day. I think equally they're pretty much flip the same in height and reach. They're really not that different. Kurt, huge fighter, used to be a D1 football player, in which he has like the like a physique for it. But I guess boxing made him naturally good at it, and he's converting very well. He's had some pretty decent victories over two undefeated guys, the Narciso Carmona and John Manu. Blew them out pretty quick, TKO'd them, and he stopped well over eight opponents in his last 8 fights. All 8 of his opponents have been stopped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 and 8. So yeah, he's been killing it. He's been dominating everybody, and he's just that good, man. I mean, Kurt Scoby, he's he's what you call a true disciplined dark warrior. Like, he's like the type of guy where he doesn't do much talking. He just lets his discipline do the talking, and when he's 100% ready, he's like 1000% harder to beat. But I think the same thing goes with Nestor Bravo. Nestor Bravo is, he's an absolute monster. And even though Nestor hasn't shown much of his tools at the very highest, tier, because, obviously, like, the opponents that he's been fighting, like, his opponents are good. Because, if you really look at it, like, the last 5 opponents, William Madera, very good fighter himself. Obviously, he's not like the superior greatest, but he lost to Brandon Lee, and then Nestor Bravo back to back. But previous to that fight, he fought 20-1 Jamshidbek Najamatov, and he knocked him out in 5 rounds. But he was 20-1 at the time. But still, it's just more like, look at the evolution of the opponents that he's fighting. It's not like Nestor's going out of his way fighting guys that are just coming in to lose. He's fighting dudes that are coming in there to take him down and make him break down, to potentially lose. So I mean, the evolution of competition is pretty much there. I think where Nestor's at right now, I think he's doing pretty good. I mean, I can't really say much of anything. I mean, he's pretty much at, he's pretty much right there at, at the top of his game, where, he obviously got himself in position, with the WBO by defeating Adrian Young, who's, like a decent fighter of his own caliber. He knocked him out. Then obviously after that, he had that no contest with Jair Valtier, which he was, he was beating him up pretty much up the whole fight. But Jair decided to fight dirty and force a no contest up against him. But yeah, after that, fought William Madera, and, he cruised him, to a 10-round decision. So, I mean, he has a very good, like, how should I say, like, he has a great movement of his matchmaking going well for him, and I think, like, even if he were to give him harder like opponents earlier in his career, he still would have done like the same thing. It's just that obviously what people don't know is like Nestor, when he was fighting at 135, he was trying to fight all the top dudes, but it's like nobody didn't want to fight him, and it's like leading to his 140 debut, heading into the Victor, well, yeah, like, I would say about the Victor Jones, fight back in 2021. That's when, he started making moves, and, Nestor's doing way better at 140. But even like 135, Nestor definitely would have done like the same thing. It's just more like, the opponents politically just don't want to risk their careers being put at risk, and like personally, like I don't like that. Like it's like it's very boring, and that's what makes boxing a really tough sport to talk about the matchups that people want to see. Now let's talk about this matchup if it ever happens one day. Kurt Scoby, absolute monster. He can punch, he can brawl. He has a great old school, a very old school defensive inside boxer puncher type of style. And what I mean by that is like he knows how to fight very, very educated on the inside. He knows how to position his feet absolutely correct when he's about to, land some heavy loaded shots on you, and he just knows how to put you in mental pressure. And I think what makes him very special as a fighter is that he jabs first early, and then when he seeks power shots later, he goes after the right opportunities to pound you with a good shot to make you, suffer late game, which, he does a pretty good job doing that. And when he sees an opportunity to knock you out, he will knock you out. Kurt does not play around. He is a true 1000% all the way through disciplined fighter. And I think this is the perfect opponent for Nestor Bravo, because Nestor Bravo is the same thing. These guys are absolutely identical. Only difference is that I think Nestor, he is a way better boxer than Kurt, because Nestor got faster feet than him. As far as hand speed, I say that they are just about the same way. As far as reflexes, I would say Nestor can beat Kurt off of reflexes when he sees good mid-range to like long-range opportunities to hurt him. But when Kurt sees opportunities on the inside, he knows how to land those big shots, and he just makes it absolutely competitive, where he's very similar to the Sean Porter school of boxing, but he uses like a Gene Tunney-ish type of like, I'm gonna brawl you down type of style. And I only use Gene Tunney because Gene Tunney is a really good example of like what most fighters try to emulate. But on top of that, when you want to really go way back into like the deep, like maybe like what, late 1800s or like early 1900s worth of style of boxing, obviously those guys fought way more different compared to now. But I would say like the earliest earliest form of great revolutionized industrial boxing, like Kurt style definitely has like a little gel effect of what the 1900s style, and then you put that together with a great modernistic type of style where it's a very Sean Porter come forward type of style, and then you mix it with like a good classical old school style where you use like a lot of inside feint movements where like you're trying to like force the opponent to get afraid off of like that one shot, and then it's like boom, like you basically just ram right forward and you force the opponent to submit into pressure, because that's exactly what fighters do when they're good enough to fight on the inside. You don't really take punishment on the inside. You basically force those little shots here and there, and then once you see those good KO punches to land on the opponent, you just basically force your opportunity when you see it fit to subjugate your power late game into the opponent's body to defeat them. But Nestor, on the other hand, he's not like that. He's not built like that. When you try to come inside with Nestor, Nestor will hurt you, and that's where I do believe Kurt will have his issues against Nestor, but also Nestor will have issues when Kurt is trying to tire him out. Now, as far as stamina goes, I think both of these guys are pretty much good at the level of conditioning. Kurt, on the other hand, when he sees you tired, he will get you tired by working the body very, very well. Now, Nestor, he doesn't really work the body as effectively all the time, because he's always looking for those good headshots that he throws at you. But don't get it twisted, Nestor can throw to the body. He has a really good cerebral type of body work, and I've always kind of wondered, like, if Nestor kind of shaped it up with like the body shots early and go up top. I think Nestor, he would just get knockouts way faster, because Nestor, he can punch. Nestor's punches are very destructive, and I think Kurt Scoby, he understands his style is a good pleasing style to the crowd, but once you get to the world title contention level fights, and once you go up against world championship level fighters, like guys that either won a title or have challenged for titles, that's when everything just gets cut off, because it's like you have to watch out for your health, but you also have to watch out for the severity of how many punches that you're taking within rounds in order to get up to victory, in those 10 round or 12 round fights. Now, as far as who I think will start applying body work early, I think Kurt will try to do that to Nestor. But when Nestor sees Kurt wide open, I think Nestor's going to blast Kurt with a good uppercut, and then Kurt's going to be like, okay, I'm not going to try to force, my inside pressure as often, but, it's going to be like the battle of the jabs, and then whoever's going to land that one big power punch, it's going to be a really deadly shot. And I think Nestor could be the winner out of that, because when you think about it, Kurt has good defensive movement with his head. He doesn't just sit right there just to get, beat up. It's like Nestor, he's a tricky dude, and I think what Kurt has shown within his fights is that when he has guys that do move around and can show a lot of, confusing angles where he can't really see those punches coming, I think that will lead him to getting, clipped with like a good shot. But I think Kurt, he's just as tricky as Nestor is, so that's why that I like talking about this potential matchup, because it is a true 50-50 fight, and I think Nestor and Kurt, they're both gonna test each other's will, and I think Nestor, he's going to be the one to show more success and more discrepancy, exposure out of Kurt Scoby versus, Kurt Scoby doing that to Nestor. But either way, I won't be surprised, if the results get flipped, because it's like, this is a really good fight, and both of these guys don't have anything to lose. They have a lot to gain. So I think, as far as the matchup goes, it's going to start early to the body, and then they're going to start banging it out every single round. And I like to see Nestor, basically fake a lot of his jabs and start breaking Kurt to the body, and then hook him, while he's coming in to to the inside. Because I think what Kurt likes to do is that he likes to force you to be off balance in a exchange, and he thinks he's going to knock you out by doing that. And I think how you offset that is that you have to break him down early to the body, and his hands are going to be low anyway, so every time when he's going to be foolish enough to be tired, with his hands being not all the way up completely, but you're able to see that opening to break him down on the inside with body punches and then headshots. I think Nestor would be that guy to show Kurt, Scoby, true fundamentals. And then once he lands those big shots, I think Nestor is more capable to knocking him out late. But don't be surprised, Kurt, he has knockout power himself. It's just that Nestor seems to be the fighter that has higher ring IQ, when he knows when a fighter is going to tire out and when a fighter is going to basically break down and basically lose their power late game. But I wouldn't be surprised if this does go to a draw, because this will be a competitive fight by the judges. So don't know too much about who's really going to show off what type of skills, but I think Nestor, I would definitely give Nestor the 51 percentage over Kurt being the 49%, percentile differential. But I think this is a very good fight. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Would you guys want to see this fight next? I personally do. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys later. And peace to everybody that rocks with me on the channel. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think these guys should fight right now, or they should probably wait later? So Alright, I'll see you guys later. Peace out, and I will see you guys. Bye.